The death of a high-profile cartel leader by the Mexican military now leaving a trail of destruction throughout western Mexico. Why people are now stranded, unsure of when they'll be able to return home, and what U.S. officials are urging Americans to do in the area.
The Department of Homeland Security is walking back what it called emergency measures that affected airport operations. Which two TSA programs were temporarily suspended? How the ongoing partial government shutdown led to the decision to halt them.
State lawmakers are now warning about potential price hikes at the pump as the state faces a growing trend of refinery closures.
Now we're seeing refineries have closed down. In 1982, there were 43 refineries in California. Today, we have 7.
Hear why those opposed to the state's zero-emission vehicle mandate say that transition doesn't match reality and who they say will be bearing the brunt of the impacts.
And no real rain in the forecast. We got some going on out there for you today. All is quiet to start you off this week, but coming up, we're going to track the next round of rain on the way and let you know how much we're going to get.
You're watching Fox 26, and now, great day.
Good Monday morning. We begin this hour with a live look at Central Fresno. Today's high in Fresno expected to reach 70 degrees.
I love it.
I could not get enough of it this weekend. I'm certainly hoping that was the case for you at home as well. Good morning to you. Happy Monday. I'm Liz Gonzalez.
I'm Carl Cook.
And I'm Justin Willis. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we hit 70 yesterday. It was really nice out. It was gorgeous. It was the kind of weather you just drive around with the windows down and just soak it up.
Unless you've got allergy.
Well, there's that too. We'll talk about that too. Actually, the pollen levels are going to be up today too, so we'll break that down for you.
You know, I'm excited. We went to Home Depot and bought the stuff to plant our seedlings to start our tomato plants and the chili plants.
Yeah, there you go.
Woo. Just haven't done them yet, but I'll do them today now that I know it's going to be nice.
There you go. It'd be perfect for you. The weather's going to be really nice out there for you today. We got some changes on the way, which we'll talk about in a little while here. But right now, current conditions, well, it's a cool start to the morning out there for you. We're at 43 right now. At the moment, we have clear skies. Winds are calm. The dew point's at 43. And here's the rest of the day. Partly cloudy there for us at 10 a.m. 54. Yeah, we'll see the sun plenty later on, though. At noon, sunny and 62. 5 o'clock, some more clouds moving back in and 67. However, the next weather maker coming in is going to bring us a little more rain. Some of us aren't going to get any at all out of this, but some of us will get plenty. We'll show you the areas that are going to get hit hardest by this next round of rain.
Lockdowns continue right now in parts of Mexico this morning after the killing of one of the country's most powerful drug lords. Parts of the country spiraled into chaos, and the impact felt here in the Central San Joaquin Valley as well. Mexico's defense ministry says Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho, was hurt during an operation to capture him in the state of Jalisco yesterday, and he died as he was being flown to Mexico City. El Mencho was the leader of the Jalisco New Generation cartel. The last of the big cartel leaders, think of like El Chapo and El Mayo. His death is now sparking retaliation against law enforcement and the government, which has led to fires at gas stations, convenience stores, even buses set on fire, as well as police vehicles. The government has shut down roads and airlines have delayed flights. Assemblymember Esmeralda Soria says her parents are currently in a town in Michoacan where they are witnessing the destruction too.
We're hoping and praying that, Americans abroad, like my parents, are safe and that there's no further loss of life of any innocent folks in both, that are abroad and those that live there in the community.
One man from Fresno who asked not to be identified tells us that he was on his way to the Guadalajara airport yesterday when his car was suddenly stopped by an armed man.
We got on the road and then we get stopped on the way to the airport. And it was an armed man, and he was saying, hey, you need to go back to wherever you came from. The cartel is taking over the streets. And the road was physically blocked with a semi-truck that was taken from a truck driver and parked perpendicularly so no one could pass.
It's worth noting that there are a lot of federal forces still on the streets right now. Now, that man tells us he doesn't know when he's going to be able to return to Mexico. Fox 26 reporter Dania Romero spoke with her family members who live in a small town about an hour outside of Guadalajara. They have been warned not to leave their homes. My cousin in the state of Guanajuato, which neighbors Jalisco, was telling me that the city of León was on lockdown last night. Public transit was canceled. Government offices will be opening today as well as public transit resuming. But he tells me that school is canceled for today as well, just to try to lessen the impact. If anyone, by the way, has plans to travel to Mexico in the coming days, it is oh so important to check your airline. So what is the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as CJNG? Well, the group emerged around 2010 after the breakup of an older criminal group in western Mexico. That cartel quickly expanded through violent turf battles and strategic alliances. U.S. authorities say CJNG became one of the country's most powerful drug trafficking organizations, moving methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and fentanyl into the U.S. as well as other countries. The group drew international attention in 2015 after it allegedly shot down a Mexican military helicopter, killing 6 Mexican soldiers. U.S. officials have designated it as a major transnational criminal organization, and efforts to dismantle its operations continue to this day. The U.S., by the way, did have a $15 million bounty for the capture of El Mencho, accusing his cartel of making billions by shipping drugs into the U.S. Oh, in a post to X yesterday afternoon, Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum says there is absolute coordination with the governments of all states and says that people must stay informed and calm. In the post, she goes on to say that the Ministry of National Defense reported the operation carried out in the morning by federal forces resulted in various blockades as well as other reactions. As she adds that the security cabinet's social media accounts are providing updates and people should rely on those, and that activities are proceeding normally across most of the country. Now let's take a closer look at the areas that are seeing the most unrest following the killing of El Mencho and where Americans have been urged to shelter in place. Jalisco, Puerto Vallarta, Chapala, and Guadalajara. These are all under a shelter-in-place order. The authorities in Baja California, Tijuana, are urging travelers to be especially cautious, especially, again, in Tijuana. Several areas in Tamaulipas, Michoacan, Guerrero, and Nuevo León are also under high alert, with Americans advised to stay indoors and contact the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City if they feel safe. Puerto Vallarta continues to be one of Mexico's top tourist hotspots. For U.S. visitors, at least, more than 3/4 of the city's international visitors come from the U.S., about 2 million Americans every year. Travelers from California and other western states make up the largest share of those visitors, fueling the region's booming tourism economy. Now, the U.S. Department of State Consular Affairs posted to X yesterday afternoon that Americans in Puerto Vallarta, Chapala, Guadalajara, Reynosa, areas of Michoacan State, Guerrero State, Nuevo León, all need to find shelter. Canada also issued a high-risk travel advisory for Mexico, urging Canadians to avoid non-essential travel. Congressman Vince Vong is also taking to X, urging people in Fresno, Kern, Tulare, and Kings counties who are in Mexico to reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City should they feel unsafe. He provided the embassy's emergency number, which is, again, the country code is 52552-579-2000. In the post, he goes on to say, your safety is the priority.
All right, time now. We're coming up on 5:08, and so here's what's happening here. Not a whole lot happened. We had a pretty nice weekend out there. We got another nice day out there for you today. We're going to hit 70, temperatures above normal, and that's because we've got some high pressure there to the north and out in the Pacific there to the south there. But you can kind of see all this cloud cover starting to push in there. A couple low pressure systems are going to be impacting this as it works its way into the state here. And that's going to bring us our next chance of rain. Primarily, it's going to be from the North Valley into northern California and up in the higher elevations of the Sierra Nevada mountains here. So there's going to be some rain out of this. Let's track that in here for you and show you what's going on here. Obviously nothing doing today, but we'll see some activity there picking up by tomorrow morning with a little bit of snow at the 10,000 foot level with this coming in there early tomorrow morning there, a little bit of rain further north. All right, then we get to the afternoon tomorrow there. Might see a few sprinkles here and there in parts of the North Valley, nothing crazy, but it does get heavier there by tomorrow night there. As you can see, probably Madera and Merced County is going to see some pretty good rain out of this, maybe up to 1/4 of an inch there. This will move in and shift a little bit south there overnight into Wednesday morning there, with Fresno maybe seeing a little bit of rain out of this one too, and then it'll back off there Wednesday morning for a little bit. Could be some residual moisture, maybe staying a little cloudy at times there. Maybe the foothills could see some sprinkles there the rest of the day Wednesday, but then that backs off. There is another good chance of rain for us here. The next chance anyway, I don't want to say good, but the next chance of rain we have would be Sunday there. A little bit of moisture working its way in there, bringing just a few sprinkles here and there. Nothing too crazy, mainly along the foothills for that one. And again, it would be for Sunday there. So nothing crazy out of that one. Tomorrow and Wednesday are looking like the best chances here for you. This is what we're expecting totals for tomorrow and Wednesday. Again, South Valley really not expecting anything out of this. Probably just trace amounts if they get anything at all. Maybe 1/10 of an inch in Fresno and Madera. It could see up to 1/4 of an inch in Los Banos and Merced. Up in the mountains though, mostly going to be rain up there. Looks like Mariposa, Oakhurst, maybe 1 1/4 inches there. Same for Shaver Lake and China Peak. Maybe 1/2 inch over in Sequoia National Park there. So that's just our next round. Nothing crazy with it. We're looking at a 70 today. Yeah, look at this. In fact, 70 is all the way through the middle of the week there. Normal is 63, but hey, 70 is nice and we will take it. And it's going to be partly cloudy out there for us today. A little more cloudy tomorrow though, and on Wednesday we're putting the chances for Fresno anyway at a 20% chance. We should have light winds through the middle of the week. All right, coming up in just a bit here, we'll go over the highs and lows for the rest of the San Joaquin Valley for your Monday.
Following the recovery of the 9th and final missing skier killed in the Castle Peak Avalanche in the northern part of the state, authorities are now turning their focus to the travel guide company. Why Blackbird Mountain Guides is now under a workplace safety investigation. And a live look now at the silhouette of El Capitan, a slide view of Half Dome in Yosemite National Park, where things cleared enough yesterday to see the fire fall. Oh, so beautiful. It is 5:10 and 34 degrees there right now. You can find new headlines and the weather forecast on your screen all morning long, even through the commercial break.
Hi, I'm Monty Torres with Fox 26 News on YouTube. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel, where we have loads of great content for you to choose from. And while you're here, why not click on the subscribe button right here? That way you can stay in touch with all the latest breaking news, everything news related within the Central Valley. And thank you for watching.